Namaskaram, welcome to PGurus Tamil. I'm your host JK. Today we're going to discuss about something very serious that has happened in Tamil Nadu. And to discuss on this, we have founder of Street TV and Vedic Science and Studies as well as Research Center, Mr. Bala Gowthaman. Namaskaram, sir.
Namaste.
I guess until the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu spoke about this, that too to a newspaper, News Daily, nobody knew about this. The seriousness of the issue, I guess that the magnitude with which it has to be handled has not been done at all. Though right now what we hear that the NCPCR has taken suo motu cognizance of this and have asked the State Chief Secretary to respond within a week. That is what we know until now.
The issue is?
There was a case, in fact, kind of foisted, should we say that word, registered by anti-social elements in police station against child marriage, and for which they did conduct some kind of unethical test on two children, two girl children between the age of 11 and 14, studying 6th and 7th standard is what we hear. That's what the governor said as well.
Meaning two-finger test.
Two-finger test.
Yes.
So, as I said, it is unethical. It is not approved by the court. The court denies that to be conducted, and it is not at all required there because it was just a case of child marriage. We know the parents of the kids have been taken to the police station. They have been made to sit there till 11 p.m. And this test has been conducted, though we also hear from the commissioner that that has not been done. He agrees to other parts of the accusation, but he says this was not done. But still, I guess, should we go by governor's word?
Right, you are talking about an unethical act. Okay, ethics is an antonym to Dravidian. So you can't expect ethics from this government. More than unethical, it is illegal. The Supreme Court has passed orders that this is unscientific test and this should not be conducted. And the present Chief Justice of this country has presided over that bench when this case came about. It's on a different issue. So I go by the governor's word, as you asked me.
Correct.
Whether the governor is right or wrong. Yes, I go by the governor because I have previous experience with this government. Because I was a witness to some riot where the forensic department of Tamil Nadu has given us wrong statement, and that I even appeared in the newspapers. This happened in 1996 when Karunanidhi was ruling. So they are habitual offenders. So DGP of Tamil Nadu making such a statement is not new to me. And while the DGP is making such a statement, I have two more questions to ask. NCPCR asked to go for a probe.
Right.
This statement came in the newspaper a day before.
Correct.
The NCPCR's announcement came in the newspaper. Am I right?
True.
So probably the government should have smelt that the NCPCR is going to take a suo motu action immediately after the governor's address. It's obvious.
Yep.
Since the governor has made this statement, it is obvious the NCPCR will take cognizance of this. So immediately to cover it up, the DGP was asked to make this statement before that announcement was made. The DGP immediately said that no such tests were conducted. It is preempting something.
Correct.
So that is where the governor can easily be justified. This is what the statement is. And what prompted the DGP to make such a strong statement? Immediately the next day. Why can't the DGP say that okay, since the governor has made this allegation, we will conduct an inquiry?
Right. That would be correct.
That is the obvious thing for any government to do. The governor has made the statement. So it is, the district collector should have taken this up and said that okay, I am going to initiate an inquiry into it. Or the DGP should have said that I am going to initiate an inquiry into it. Within 24 hours, the denial comes from the DGP. And this is where I really smell the rat.
Right. In fact, one more statement that the NCPCR made is they wanted the kids as well as the parents to be given protection. I'm not sure what they are fearing about or fearing for. Protection to this family so that, the identity is kept protected as well, and nothing happens to them till they conduct all this whatever inquiry that the Chief Secretary has been asked to make. So he has been given a week's time. Do you think we can expect something good out of it, or anything that would be justifiable after a week?
No, I mean, it basically depends on how the family is going to face the pressure of the government. It's a Gunda government. Whether the government is going to exert a pressure through government departments, or they are going to exert pressure through DMK Gundas. These are the two options now available for them to do. And I am not sure whether the parents or the children will testify before them. Because when the DGP comes up with such a statement, do you expect a local inspector on a SI to go and support or to go and protect the victims? Because the head of your force has already, he has written the judgment. Nothing has happened. Then do you think that the local policeman or the local SP is going to do something which is contrary to the idea of the DGP? Do you think that it is going to happen?
I guess we can always assume that it might not happen.
How it can happen?
Right.
Because when your DGP is echoing the view of the government, which is hell-bent to destroy this Chidambaram and this Dikshitars. From day one onward, they want to take this temple over. And they are applying all these pressure tactics just to beat them down, beat the Dikshitars down and to take the temple away from them. So they tried to very other different means, which never worked. And now they are targeting these innocent people. I mean, it is a sort of what I can say, in Sri Lanka, it was a Hindu genocide.
Correct.
Okay. Here it is happening in a different way, because you can't do it, because still Hindus are 80% or so, and still there is a government. It's a non-anti-Hindu government which is ruling. So that is why they are protected.
Right. So I guess, just going back to what you said in terms of this government is hell-bent on taking over Chidambaram temple.
Yes.
They tried all means. They went to the court. I guess the Supreme Court kind of
it has slapped
the
them on their
the knuckles.
cheeks.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, so
And
right
with
now,
slippers.
right now they have no options. But just as I started saying as unethical, they've just kind of gone into this gross way of doing things. Do you think they still have 3 years to go? Do you think they would be successful in taking over this temple anytime?
That depends on the Hindu community, how Hindu community is going to react and resist. They will try all means. They will try all the, whatever is there in their sleeves, they will try it out. They will use the revenue department. Even they will,
They wanted to audit.
I mean, apart from auditing the temple, if nothing is going to be there, then what they will do? They will go to a Dikshitars' house and they say that I am going to destroy this house because 1 inch of your balcony is there in the road. Then they will go for this. So some Dikshitars will be there somewhere else working. So they will try to put pressure on them. So all these unethical things they will do. Because DMK government is known for that. So I don't think that it is the fight is going to be confined only to Chidambaram temple or HRCE or something else. Now the fight has gone to the next level, targeting Dikshitars families.
Right.
So now you are in the second phase. The first phase is target the temple. Now if you fail in this, then target the people who are protecting the temple. That is the second phase. The third phase will be, they will target people who are supporting the Dikshitars. That will be the third phase. So the next 3 years, this will be the trend. And this is going to happen. Look, this is not the first time the DMK government has done this. As they took power in 2021, till date, the government has taken over 2000 plus Hindu temples.
Taken over.
Taken over. The government has taken over. In a way, I don't call it taking over because it is for the viewers to understand. The government has plundered 2000 Hindu temples, and that is the right word to be used.
Right.
So they have done that. Again, HRCE Act says that if there are any discrepancies, you have to take over the temple, you have to correct them, and then you have to hand it over to them. This is what the Act says. Now, the DMK is now claiming that they have taken over 2000 plus temples. But how many temples that you have given back? So, if you can claim that the HRCE Act has provided such a provision to take over those temples, the same HRCE Act has given provision that it has said that you have to hand over the temple back to the communities. Have you done that? So, an act cannot be a one-sided affair, right?
Right.
And this is one thing that we need to understand. This act is meant to destroy Hinduism.
Correct.
And since this act is there, they will try all these things to do. So it is now imperative for the Hindus to come out and fight. Otherwise you will be finished. It is not only Chidambaram that they have taken over. They have taken over communities, temples belonging to all communities. So they will say that, okay, Dikshitars, these Brahmins, they are ruling everything. So we are fighting for the cause of the oppressed. And what about the temples that you have taken over from other communities? So this government doesn't have any anti-Brahminism or anything else. It has got only one agenda, that is anti-Hinduism. So these anti-Brahminism, all these things are to divide Hindu society. They don't want the Hindu society to be united. So by showcasing Chidambaram, they are dividing Hindus on caste lines. And this is what is precisely happening. This is what something that we need to understand. Then coming to the core issue, I mean, these temple things that we have spoken about many times.
The two-finger test.
The two-finger test. My question is, there are many people who are up in arms against the previous governor, Mr. Purohit.
Right. Just for patting the cheek.
For patting the cheek of a
Lady journalist. Right.
Who is supposed to be the incarnation of Mata Sita, I hope. Okay? I hope.
Right.
Okay. So every journalist were up in arms. Now kids were taken to the police station and you are conducting a two-finger test with them.
Nobody has spoken about it.
Nobody has spoken about it. Is it not sexual abuse?
It is.
Will this not affect the psyche of the child? I heard that some of the children, 4 children were taken to the police station and 2 were subjected to this test. And this is what I heard from the local community. And they even have the tendency to commit suicide. And this is what I heard from the local people.
I guess one of the parents tried to commit suicide.
They tried, and then the community intervened and have done this.
Yeah.
And now my question is, what the government is going to do? Now my charge against this government, will the police official or the revenue officials who are there, when this test, when they are subjected to such brutal investigation, will they be charged under the sections of abetting suicide?
As well as POCSO.
POCSO, because you are done with the child.
Yeah.
Will you do that? But the thing is, if any one file a complaint, and a classic example is the case of this Padma Seshadri school. A child who left the school 5-6 years back, she preferred a complaint against a teacher and no evidence, nothing. Immediately
Teacher was
arrested under POCSO.
Right.
They thought by the name that he is a Brahmin, but unfortunately he is not so. Then everything got diluted, and I am not hearing any noises on this. Okay, this happened in that case.
Right.
Now here, there is an allegation made by the first citizen of the state.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Immediately POCSO has to go.
Right.
Because there, before inquiry, you have filed that teacher under POCSO. And here the complaint has come from the first citizen of the state. Why you have not registered even a case? That means the government is covering up. That means the government is a part of this conspiracy to do this. So the government is behind this criminal act. The government is behind this illegal act. The government is behind this inhuman act of subjecting a child to a brutal torture. Brutal in the sense physical, mental and sexual. And when you are doing a two-finger test, it is to be construed as a sexual torture. On 3 counts it is a torture. Why POCSO has not come in here? Why complaint was registered? The governor has spoken. Why don't you take suo motu action against the governors? Because the first citizen has said.
Right.
Instead, defense is coming from the DGP of the state.
Right. So maybe the next question I have is, this is one side you can see it as just leaving behind the two-finger test, because you have spoken enough about that. The Dikshitars, right? So there are about 3,000 families is what we hear, and they are a minority in some sense. And the Adheenams, right, who are supposed to uphold the Saivite tradition, they are not speaking for them. That is one thing that is worrying, right? The other thing being, this government, as we know, right, should be protecting whatever the minority that the 3,000 families are, and they are going against them. So what do you think would the Dikshitar kind of families do when there's a threat from the state itself?
First, I'll address the issue of Adheenams.
Yeah.
That is what I said in my opening thing. Still this HRNC is going to be there. No Adheenam will come out and speak
Against the government.
Because they are also
Part of it.
part of it, because madams, they also comes under the ambit of this HRCE department. So HRCE department is controlling them too. If some Adheenams are so good, they will not speak against the Dikshitars.
Yeah, right.
So this is what the maximum that you can expect from them.
Right.
Otherwise, the government will ask these Adheenams to issue a statement against them. This happened, you understand. The government initiated a process. The process of collecting details about Tamil Agamam. And they want to do temple consecration based on this Tamil Agamam, which was totally non-existent. And no Saivite tradition spoke about it. And Adheenams are Saivite scholars. As you rightly pointed out, they are the real upholder of Saivism.
Right.
But an upholder of Saivism should definitely know that there are 28 agamas. And these 28 agamas are given by Lord Parameshwara himself. And everyone knows Agamam Ahinindra Annipan Thalvazhga. Every Adheenam recites these words at least one time a day.
Right.
So in their lifetime, they could have chanted this not less than 10-20 lakh times, right? But the government initiated a process of finding Tamil Agama. Some Adheenams were part of the committee to find this. Then my question is, if this is there, this you are chanting every day, and you are trying to search and create a new Agama itself, whether the Adheenams are working under their own will or they are working under some pressure. So what this HRNC department has actually done, they have taken over all religious centers.
Not only temples.
Not for the sake of money or property, but to put their ideology into the seats of religion. So Saivism, what we are practicing over a period of thousands of years, propounded by our elders, or we can say that was regulated by Maigandar's Saiva Siddhantam, or which was institutionalized properly by Tevara Murtigal. will not be the Shaivam that our successors are
yeah.
going to follow.
Right.
It will be a Dravidiya Shaivam. So, Shaivism is going to be written by these guys. And now they say that we are going to write Agamas. Then now, what I will do with the verse? Agamam aginindra annippan 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙥𝙪. This is about Lord Shiva. And now Shekhar Babu is going to write. Stalin is going to bless. Satyavel Muruganar is going to do a photocopy job. So whether these three are the holy trinity of Shaivism now? Are they empowered to do an Agama?
Because they are in the government, they are empowered.
So, whether it is Shaivism or it is Dravidianism?
That is debatable still.
Now, my question is very simple. Shaiva Agama comes out from the mouth of Lord Shiva, and this is what Shaivism says.
Right.
So, if I write a new Agama, then either I should be Shiva or this should not be Shaivism. Which one is correct?
It can be the
No,
second.
that you have to come out because you need to answer this.
Right.
If I am a Saivite, if I am an adherent Saivite, if I believe in Saivite philosophy, this is what Shaivism says.
So what you're saying is the least that rather all these Adheenams are doing is not accusing the Dikshitars of anything. That's the best they are doing.
I mean, otherwise it is a question of survival.
Right.
But I am not happy with them. The reason is because this is the Saivite tradition which has fought several invasions to safeguard Shaivism. Unfortunately, the people who are in siege of power, what we call it Adheenams, they have to mobilize the community and come out and fight. And this is the purpose for which these Adheenams were made. But I am sorry to say that they have succumbed before this government. So the question comes to my mind, the Adheenam is created not to take care of the properties, not to take care of the temples, but to protect Shaivism.
Correct.
But now to protect these temples and to protect the seat of power, to protect the properties which are there with the Adheenams, now they are killing Shaivism.
Right.
So this is really a sad part of it. Now, take any Nayanmar, Adhipatya Nayanar. I mean, he went and killed the elephant of the Raja. Just for what? Because it has thrown away the flower basket of Sivagami under. He can't even tolerate. King with all his forces, he came to attack this person. He was there with the axe. Come, I will kill you, because you have done this injustice to Shiva. This happened in Karur. And this is the Saivite tradition. Shakti Nayana. He went on removing the tongue of people who spoke ill about Lord Shiva. And this is what the Saivite tradition has taught us. Some people have given their lives for Shaivism. We have gone through all these things in our Periya Purana. This tradition is to be protected by the Adheenams. That is why they are called Adheenams. They are in the position of Adheenam to protect this Saivite tradition and to guide us like Shakti Nayanar, to guide us like Adhipatya Nayanar. But unfortunately, they are not doing it. They have to come out.
Right. Hopefully they can support the Dikshitars soon.
But again, it is not only Adheenams that I blame.
The general public.
General Hindu. What this general Hindu is doing?
Even after knowing all this.
All these things. All these...
I guess nobody is even speaking about it. I guess even they're hushed up, or they're kind of fearing the government rather, not even opening their mouth, or not even... There's not even a semblance of protest anywhere, even after the governor speaking about it. Does that bother you?
Sure. This is what the 75 years of Indian independence has done to this country. The first war of Indian independence in 1857, one of the major issues behind it is the Britishers used uh, the cow grease made out of cow
Right.
for
The
cleaning the
rifles.
ammunition rifles,
Yeah.
you know. That is one of the major triggering point.
𝙒𝙧𝙬𝙬 mutiny.
I don't call it Sepoy mutiny.
Okay.
It is First War of Indian
First War of
Independence.
Indian
So
Independence.
Sepoy mutiny is a British word.
Right.
It is not a Sepoy mutiny. It is an Indian War of Independence. Okay, I proudly say that. Okay, and that is the triggering point. This was how the Hindu community is.
Should be.
12,000 people, they laid down their lives to save our Sri Lanka. The entire Shivacharya community, they sacrificed their lives to protect Madurai Meenakshi temple. And these were there, the annals of history, you can see. These things happened when the country was ruled by the most tyrannic Muslim invaders. So, you have to understand the environment was so bad
Then.
But now, after obtaining independence, a Hindu is not willing to fight for his cause. That means the entire Hindu community was de-Hinduized in the last 75 years.
That is what to be said. Exactly.
Yes, that is it. The thing is, I am ready to live my life to save my temple. That was the position before. And just after getting an independent India, you can't do. Even your independence movement is based on the Vinayaka Chaturthi procession started by Lokmanya Bala Gangadhara Tilak. He made it a people's movement through Vinayaka Chaturthi. And most of your freedom fighters, they all have spoken about Bhagavad Gita. Even the great freedom fighter of this country, Mahatma Gandhi, he said that Ramarajya is my goal. And this is what the entire country came to fight for independence. It fought for independence in the name of Lord Rama, in the name of Lord Shiva, in the name of Lord Krishna, in the name of Lord Ganapati. And this is what your independent freedom history is. And now in the independent India, the independence which you got, saying that I will safeguard this tradition, the challenge is for this Rama, the challenge is for this Krishna, the challenge is for this Ganesha. We need to protect it. So the entire independence movement is for this purpose. But in this independent country, the sake of independence is
Lost.
lost. And no one is protesting against it or even speaking against it. Means the 75 years after independence, you have committed a crime which a Mohammedan or an English person has failed to do.
Of not protecting Hindus.
So you have de-Hinduized, you have de-Bharatized, you have de-Indianized the community. So this community is not coming to fight for its own right, which it got through its entire independence movement. So you have committed a fraud on this nation. The 75 years of independent India has committed a fraud. This has cheated the people of this country. This has eroded the psyche of this country. This has broken the backbone of this country. That is why no Hindu is coming up to fight. So, in a larger sense, who are all the stakeholders who are supposed to protect those?
Are not bothered.
No, they have to understand what sin they have committed.
Right.
And now it is the time for them, because history always teaches you lessons. If you don't learn from history, then I think that is the cardinal sin that you are doing to you and your progenies. Am I right?
Absolutely.
So all stakeholders now have to put their heads together and said, now we all have committed this. Now we all have a role to redeem this. So it is a time for redemption.
Right. Hopefully, I guess after this NCPCR, hopefully within a week, the Chief Secretary would respond as expected with a proper investigation being done on whatever case that we are talking about, the two-finger test especially.
I mean, I think that your hope is good. What they have responded in Lavanya's case? What happened in that Lavanya case?
Yeah, they said, I guess the Christians have the right to preach
What
in the
happened?
court. Yeah.
Okay, what happened in that investigation on Lavanya suicide? So we are not now talking about it.
Right.
Okay?
It's buried, yeah.
Buried. This issue will also have this natural death unless or otherwise Hindus strike in the road. I think you interviewed me before.
I did.
I said you the same thing. This is going to happen.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
So it is again a warning that I am giving to the Hindus. In democracy, I mean, for Indian democracy, for that matter, for the secular democracy, you need to learn mobocracy. First learn mobocracy, then you will get democracy in your pocket.
Hopefully. Thank you very much, Gowthamji, Bala.
Namaste.
Gowthaman.